video is going to demonstrate how to play Hammer-Ons. In this video I will be showing 3 examples. If you came to this video through the ebook for the free ebook for beginning guitar players, you will notice under each example it will say something like click here for a video demonstration of this example. So you will either be taken to the beginning of this video or to the beginning of the other 2 examples. So a hammer-on is a technique used on guitar a lot, not just guitar, but it can be used for lead and solos. It's also sometimes used in rhythm. Now, looking at the first example, you have a 0 and 3 to start with. You have a curved line going from the 0 to 3. That is called a slur mark. The slur mark is telling you to pick the first note but not the second note. So the tab is telling us we're going to pick the high open E string and then we hammer on to the 3. So the hammer on, you're just basically slamming down onto that 3rd fret. So when you do the hammer-on, you're basically like you're slamming your finger down, but you're not trying to crush the guitar, okay? So you're not trying to like really kill it when you're doing it. But if you go too slow, then the sound is off. A lot of times you'll just hear no sound at all. And what I mean by that is, like if I go too slow here, see, it doesn't sound the same anymore. And in fact, with all the distortion, we're getting a bit of a harmonic coming out there before it really stops. And the reason why going slow doesn't work is because when you go slow, you're stopping the vibration of the string. When you pick the string, it vibrates. That vibration is what creates the note we hear. So when you hammer on, you want that vibration to continue. If you move your finger too slow, the vibration will stop. So you can let that first note ring out for a while. It's just when you go to hammer on, you got to make sure that the movement is fast enough so the hammer-on sounds properly. A lot of times when I say you got to move fast enough, people think that you have to do this and like go to it right away. No. What I mean by fast is when you make the motion for the hammer-on, that has to be the part that's fast enough. So let's go through step by step the whole example. Okay, so again we start with picking 0, hammer to 3, and we're going to do it again. Now the second bar or measure says we're going to pick the open B string, hammer to 3. Now we do it again, pick the open B, hammer to 3. And then the 3rd bar is the same as the 1st. And then the 4th bar is the same as the 2nd. So here is the whole example. Now I was using my middle finger for that. You can also do the exercise with all 4 fingers, so you can practice using your index finger, then do it with your middle, then your 3rd finger, then your 4th finger. You probably find the pinky to be the most challenging one. So it is recommended to do this exercise with all 4 fingers so you build adequate strength in all 4 of your digits. This will help you in more challenging songs and exercises that you're going to be playing in the future. The second exercise is going to have us starting higher up on the fretboard. So we won't be using an open string this time. So Looking at the next example, you're going to have your index finger on the 5th fret. So we start by picking that, and then we're going to take our ring finger and hammer onto the 7. Notice how my index finger is still on the 5. So a lot of people, when they start off, they try and do this. See, then they take their index finger off. That's not too bad of a thing because you're still able to make that hammer-on sound. However, in the big picture, that's going to slow you down, and it's going to prevent some speed from happening. So it's also going to help develop stretch in your fingers, in your hand, if you continue to hold down this 5. So there will be things to play later on as you learn that it won't be practical to leave your finger down. But for this example, for this first bar, leave your index finger on the 5. So the first bar, we're going to pick 5, hammer to 7, and do it again. Second bar, we go down to the B string, so we do move our first finger. So now we're holding 5 with the index, and then we pick 5, hammer to 6 with the middle finger. See, the index finger is still down, and then we do that again. And then we go back to the E string, first finger on the 5th fret, and then we pick that, hammer to 8, do it again. And we go down to the B string and do the same thing that we just did on the E string. So here is the whole example. The third and final example for the hammer-ons has 2 hammer-ons in a row. Starting on the 5th fret of the high E string, we pick that, and then, as you see, the slur mark is going across the 5, 7, and 8. So that means we are going to only pick that 5, but we're going to hammer onto the 7 and then hammer onto the 8 right away. So we only pick once, hammer, hammer. So it's pick, hammer, hammer. Now see, all 3 of my fingers are down at the end of this. And that's how you want your hand to look after you finish this. So you got the 5, pick the 5, hammer 7, hammer 8. Pick 5, hammer 7, hammer 8. We go to the second bar. Go down to the B string. Pick the 5, hammer to 6, hammer to 8. Pick, hammer, hammer. Third bar is the same as the first. Fourth bar is the same as the second. Here is the entire exercise. I invite you to take your time with all 3 of these exercises and stay with one until you feel comfortable before moving on to the next. These exercises were set up in such a way where it progresses in difficulty with each one. Now there are plenty of other hammer-on exercises out there. You can look up on YouTube just hammer-on guitar exercises. If you can't find any that you really like, if you're looking for something a bit more specific on something, you are more than welcome to send me an email and request some new ones. If you have any questions with this video or anything pertaining to music, please send me an email and I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thank you for watching.